Who knows what this is?
Arrow.
An arrow. So on the arrow, we have on the top the little pinchers. What is the pincher called? The knock. Knock, knock. Nobody said who's there. Okay.
Who's there?
Then you have the shaft. You have, let's go with these. What are these? The fletchings. So the fletchings, you'll notice, two are the same color. One is a different color. On all of ours, one is white. The white one will be important later. The shaft on the end is the what? The tip or the pointy part that hurts, right? So that's the point. That's the part that you want to keep aimed toward the ground or the target at all times. If this is the arrow, what's this? The bow. We're here for archery, right? Bows and arrows. So this is called a compound bow. It has cams or wheels on the top and bottom. That is to help take the pressure off when you draw. When you draw back, never ever release it without an arrow in the bow. If you release it, that's called a dry fire, and it can damage the bow. That's how the string came off the cams on the other one. So do not release it without an arrow in the bow. We have the grip. That is where you hold onto the bow. You do not have to hold it really tight. It is not called a death grip. It is just a grip. You can even, when you pull back, have your hand open and just pull like that. When you pull, if you grab it tight, it turns. See how it turned my arm in? Watch my arm. If I release and turn, my arm comes in close. That's when you catch your arm with the string. How many have done that before? Does that feel good?
No, not at all.
No, not at all. You will get what's equivalent to a rug burn and a big bruise a couple days later, right? So please try to hold it loosely. You can even put your fingers out. If you're British, you can put one pinky out. That would be nice. So you have the grip, you have the limbs that come up and down. The limbs hold the what?
The string?
The string, thank you. So the string has a little tiny thing on it. Different ones have different things on them. But this is a knock rest. Some of them have the pink squishies on those. Those feel really nice on your fingers, but when you put your arrow onto the string, make sure the arrow is not touching the pink squishies. Okay? Because that has been pulling the knocks off the end of the arrow. We don't want that. Squishies. So yes, if you have the pink squishies on yours, do not let the arrow touch it so we don't damage the arrows. If it does come off, let us know. We'll get you another arrow and we'll take that one out of commission until we fix it. On the other side, above the grip, you have this little tiny thing. Can you see it? That is your arrow rest. That is where you put your arrow, unless you have one with the whisker biscuit, which is always fun to say. The whisker biscuit will hold your arrow in place. This one you have to balance it on there. When you get in your stance, 1 foot on either side of the line. Since you're all shooting right-handed, we will all be facing that way. Not toward the target. You're facing that way. When you stand here, you hold your bow out in your left hand, turn it sideways and lower it down. That will make it easier to get your arrow out of your quiver. Sit it on top. When you place it on top, put it on the arrow rest. You want to put the knock of the arrow below the knock rest and snap it on. Remember, not next to the pink squishies. When you draw, make sure it's on the arrow rest. Show me your Girl Scout sign. When you pull back your string, 1 finger above and 2 below, or you can do all 3 below or 2 below the arrow. What you don't want to do is pinch the arrow, okay? Because then when you release it, it might not fly as straight. So you can do 1 above, 1 below, 1 above, 2 below, or all of them below, however you want. But keep your thumb and pinky back. That helps keep your hand straighter instead of curled up. If your hand is straighter, when you release, your arrow will fly better. When you're facing this way, you want to think your body is square this way. You want your feet, your hips, and your shoulders all squared that way. When you reach out with the bow and draw back, the elbow is up. You all know how to dab. You're dabbing. Sorry, I know nobody likes that anymore. Remember, your hand is loose on the grip. As you draw back, it will create the tension between there to hold it up. You want to look down the arrow with both eyes open. If in the moment you close one, that's what happens. But start with both eyes open and try to aim at your target. And then when you release, this hand stays here. It does not come down or out or around. If you release and it is touching your face, that's your anchor point. You're just gently releasing like a trigger. When you release like that, keep the hand there. If you are more comfortable anywhere on your face like that, but you want an anchor point on your face to make sure that the only point then that's moving is this one. When you go to aim, you have one point that changes. If everything else stays consistent every time, that is how you will have a consistent shot and you can learn to hit more accurately on the target. Okay?